Andy, would you like to say anything?
Hey, oh God, you bounced that onto me, didn't you?
I know. Just say.
Yeah, actually, well, how long have we got? Yes, I have got something to say. And I had this conversation with my tutees earlier on in the week, but they're all electronics, so they're not here now. And I think if you haven't heard this from your own personal tutors, I think it's worth making a point that you guys are all over 18. And it's not just a question of getting a year older. There's something magic about turning 18 in the UK, because in the eyes of the law, you become adults. And this brings with it all sorts of responsibilities, as well as privileges. Now, when you're a child, you're at school. And when you're at school, you have teachers, and teachers have a statutory duty to look after you and to educate you, and you have to turn up, and your parents have to make you turn up, and so on and so forth. And it's all very regulated. I mean, I've been looking at the chat messages that have been going up while Kirk's been talking, and there are an awful lot of you, and this is quite understandable, there are an awful lot of you that seem to treat university as an extension to school, and it isn't. It's very, very different. And it's very, very different because, like I said, at school, you have no choice. You go to school because you're told to go to school. You're here because you want to be here. You're here because you've paid the university an awful lot of money for Kirk and mine's time. It's a business transaction. Think of it in terms of going to the cinema. Now, if you go to the cinema, you give the cinema owner a bunch of money, and that buys you the right to sit in a chair and watch a film. And that's fine. If you choose to sit in the chair and go to sleep, that's fine too. Cinema owner doesn't care, he's got your money. It's up to you what you do. And what we do in exchange for the money is to provide you with a whole bunch of opportunities to learn. And there's a big difference between learning a technical subject and memorizing stuff to pass exams. There are a lot of comments here which imply to me that people are fixated on, oh, we have to pass exam, we have to get over this hurdle, and all this sort of stuff. That's a detail. What we want you to do secondarily is to learn something about computers, and primarily what we want you to do is to learn how to learn. Now, no one is going to give you a job in 2 years' time or 3 years' time on the basis of what you can remember about mercury delay lines. And if anybody's interested in mercury delay lines, I can go on for hours about the damn things, but that's neither here nor there. No one is interested in what you remember about what you memorized 2 years ago. When you go and get a job, what your employer is going to want to be able to do is say, here, new employer person, I've got a problem. This is the problem. These are the resources. Get out of my office and come back in 3 months with a solution. And you will not have seen this problem before, because if the problem had been widely studied, it wouldn't be a problem and somebody else would have done it. So what you will be being paid to do, and what we are hopefully training you to do, and you're not going to pick this up overnight. I mean, this is week 1 of the rest of your lives. You've just come from school. Of course you want to treat it like being at school. And you're going to have to unlearn that. What we are trying to teach you is, here is an issue, computer arithmetic, because that's what I'm going to give a bunch of lectures on next week. Now, I'm going to tell you a bit about computer arithmetic, and you're not going to understand it all. Of course you're not. So it's up to you to isolate in your mind what you understand and what you don't understand, and to work out how to go get the resources that you need to clarify your understanding. We are here to help. We don't push. We'll guide, we'll offer assistance, but if you sit there and say, oh, I don't do maths, or oh, this is too complicated for me, well, it's going to stay that way, because we're not mind readers. It's up to you to get out there and hunt the resources, of which includes me and Kirk. We are resources on this course, but you've got to drive your learning trajectory, not us. And that's a very, very big difference from everything that you've done so far. You're going to find this is going to happen more and more. And like I say, it's week one and you're going to find it difficult and all this sort of thing. And we all understand that. Fundamentally, you're going to screw things up for the first few weeks. Of course you are, because it's so different. And we understand that. So, I mean, when Kirk talks about, you know, the exam is just a pass-fail, you know, so on and so forth, what he means, well, the reason for that is it's a doddle because most of you are going to screw up because it's new. Okay? And we understand that. We really do understand that. And in the first year, we're going to accept that. In the second year, it's going to be less like that. We're going to say, well, you know, you've been here for a year, you know where the library is, you know how to work stuff out for yourself. And in the third year, it really is, well, look, guys, you know, this is your problem, not our problem. You've got to grow up, because when you go into the outside world and someone's paying you real money to do this, it definitely is your problem. So we're trying to bridge the gap from school, where you do what teach says and you pass, and the outside world, where people give you a whole bunch of money and a problem, and they want the problem solved properly and fast. That all sounded a bit, but Scott's nodding and smiling, so I must have got something right.
It's lovely.
Okay, Mr. Risoda, you're here to have fun and learn. Well, hopefully you can do both. Was that enough, Kirk?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's tutorial magic. That is. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
And it goes
Sorry
across
about that.
all the courses. It's quite a big change. What you do at university. So yeah, that's a good summary. That excellent. When will we be getting information about your pies? As you've discovered, there are some people